Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Redacted Report. I am your host, coming to you from an undisclosed location. Tonight's story, with the 2022 draft just under 2 months away now, I'm going to give you my top 5 quarterback rankings. And these are probably going to surprise some people. A lot of people are going to disagree with them. Like I said, these are just my rankings from what I can tell from the stuff I've read and the highlights I've watched. And of course, I don't have access to the actual game film, but you can watch a good bit of stuff on YouTube on these people and on these cats, and you can kind of get a sense of what they're all about and what they can do, what they can't do, what they need to work on, and so on and so forth. And I thought about making this video after the Combine because I did watch some Combine stuff, and I've seen some of seen them throw, I've seen some of them run, I've seen a lot of the players, but honestly, I don't take a lot of stock in the Combine because, I see people all over Twitter, they're talking about, oh man, did you see that throw he had? He was throwing dimes on the deep ball, just hitting them in stride, and that's, oh man, he ran a sub 4.5 40 and all that stuff, and all that stuff is, I guess, okay, but none of that means anything in a football game. Some of these measurables, and not just for quarterbacks, for positions across the board. Obviously, you can tell if a guy's fast, you can tell if a guy's strong, you can tell if a guy can throw a ball, he can catch a ball, whatever. But does that really tell you, can he play football at the next level? I always found the Combine to be one of the most overrated things about the offseason. It's basically just an interview process because, speaking for quarterbacks, they're talking about how these quarterbacks are just throwing these balls. Look at that dime. That was a great throw. It's like, any quarterback who is an NFL hopeful and gets an invite to the Combine should be able to hit someone in stride when there's no pressure and no coverage. If you can't do that, you might as well just go try out for the XFL or something. So, I didn't really need to wait for the Combine because the Combine's not really going to tell me anything I don't already know. So, with that being said, let's get to the list. Now, before anything, I want to preface this by saying this is the top 5 list of the quarterbacks I think have the most upside and long-term potential. Not necessarily who's better now, because some of these you're going to probably be scratching your head, but from what I see, these are the guys that I think have the most upside and potential to be a long-term starter in the league. Number 5, we got Matt Corral out of Ole Miss, running about 6'2", 205. Got an above-average arm from what I could tell. Throws the ball, got a really good release. He's got a really good quick snap release, which is good, to thread that needle and everything. He's got enough of the arm strength to do that. And when you got those big, fast, super athletic edge rushers coming at you, that quick release is going to be good for him. He's very good athletically. He can run. He may not win a bunch of races. He probably won't outrun a lot of defensive backs or anything like that, but he's good enough to run, to scramble, to extend plays. Though he was not like a Lamar Jackson type, but he can be a good runner in the NFL. He can do some run pass option. I see him more as a pocket guy who can move around and create plays, he can extend plays with his leg at the very least. His accuracy is a little bit, hit or miss, I guess. He doesn't hit a lot of receivers in stride. Like I said, he doesn't have a cannon on his shoulder. He's not going to thread the needle at 60 yards or anything like that. But he can get the ball down the field. He did a lot of RPO in college, and that could be a little different depending on what team he goes to. I'm not 100% sure if he'll make it in the NFL. He does have a bad tendency to sort of maybe hold the ball a little too long, takes a lot of hits. And like I said, 6'2", 205, you could probably put another 10 pounds or so of bulk on him. He's not a small guy, but like I said, he takes a lot of unnecessary hits, and that could be a problem later late into December. You got a quarterback who's taking a lot of hits. Eventually, those hits are going to catch up with you. So, I see him as more of an athletic Baker Mayfield. Take that for what you will. There's a lot of positives and a lot of negatives with Baker. I see him as a more athletic version of Baker Mayfield. He's good, not great. it's really going to depend on where he goes. He's not ready to start right away. As a matter of fact, I don't think any of these guys are ready to, any of the guys on this list are ready to start right away, but he's definitely not. He needs to sit, learn. The speed of the NFL game could probably throw him off big time if he's forced in there too much. But number 5, I got Matt Corral. Now, number 4, this one's going to surprise a lot of people, but I've got Malik Willis. And the reason I think it's going to surprise a lot of people because there's a lot of people who have him up maybe in the top 2. Honestly, I don't see it, personally, for me. And as a Steeler fan, and so many Steeler fans are clamoring and just absolutely drooling over Malik Willis. And honestly, I don't see it. Yeah, he's got a cannon for an arm, no doubt about that. He's extremely athletic. He can run. He can extend the plays. He can do the RPO. There's a lot of Lamar Jackson in him. He can move. He runs a little high, which I don't like because you run high, you're going to get hit. You're going to take a lot of hits in your upper torso, chest area, and also in your head. I like him to lower his center of gravity a little bit when he runs, but, he's young. He'll learn that. Now, he's got good size. He's 6'1", 225. He's pretty accurate. If the pocket is clean, obviously, when he's not under duress, he can go. But when that pocket collapses and he has to move around, I know there's some video out there of him making some dimes on the run, but can he do that consistently? I don't know. He's not great at reading coverage. He's very easily suckered into interceptions by good, smart defensive backs. They can read him like a book, like I said. And it's like the things he's not good at, he can get better at. It's just going to take a team that can work with him and help progress him as a quarterback at the next level. I don't think he would get that in Pittsburgh, for one thing, because I don't think our offensive coaching staff is worth a damn top to bottom. I don't think Pittsburgh has what it takes to really bring along any rookie quarterback, no matter who he is. But he plays aggressive, which is a good thing. You can get a lot of big plays off of that, but also you can have a lot of bad plays, a lot of bad interceptions. He forces some throws. Like I said, the pocket presence isn't great. I liken him to basically Cordell Stewart 2.0. That's what I see when I look at him. He can run, he can move, very athletic, can outrun a lot of linebackers, not afraid of contact, got a big arm, but I just don't see the accuracy under pressure. His reading coverage is just not good. He doesn't go through his progressions well. He stares down his receivers. There's a lot of Cordell Stewart and Malik Willis. As a Steeler fan, that's who he reminds me of. And as a Steeler fan, I don't want another Cordell Stewart. I love Cordell, don't get me wrong, but let's face it. I know he had a couple of quote-unquote MVP caliber years, but he was mediocre. He had a mediocre NFL career. So, Malik Willis is my number 4 QB. He reminds me of Cordell Stewart 2.0. There's a lot of pros, but also a lot of cons. Got a lot of stuff he needs to work on. Definitely not ready to be a day 1 starter. Number 3, I have Kenny Pickett. Yeah, I'm going to piss off the Yinzers even more with this one. Kenny Pickett out of Pittsburgh, 6'3", 220, great size. He's tough, strong, big. Can probably stand up to the pounding in the NFL better than a lot of these quarterbacks. He's got a quick release, got a good strong arm. He can extend plays with his leg, very good athletically. I think his athleticism is a little better than people give him credit for. He's not a burner by any means, but he can extend plays, make some plays with his feet. We saw what he did with that fake slide that pretty much got the rule changed. He's pretty good, and he can use his physical abilities to extend plays, which is always good. He's not afraid to make any throw. That's for sure. He'll take some chances, which are both good and bad. As a Steeler fan, if he went to Pittsburgh, we're used to that. We've lived and died by a gunslinger for 18 years, so that's the way it is. Just some people are gunslingers, and Kenny Pickett's one of them. He's got a lot of experience. He started a lot of games, 49 games at Pitt. He's not afraid of the moment. That's for sure. Definitely not afraid of the moment. Now, is a little inaccurate, but he can work on that. Obviously, you know, a lot of the flaws that these guys have, they can be worked on, and if they're brought along with the right coaching at the next level, everyone can get better. There's no flaw that any of these quarterbacks have, including Pickett, that can't be fixed with work and the proper coaching. But that's the catch, proper coaching. Will he get it? Depends on which team he goes to. People in Pittsburgh want him. I don't see him being developed properly in Pittsburgh either. Like I said, I just don't think the offensive coaching in Pittsburgh is competent enough to bring along a rookie quarterback. They weren't really that competent back in 2004 when we drafted Ben. We just kind of got lucky, and he was just the kind of person who fit what Bill Cowher did, and they pretty much, you know, and when Tomlin came in, they had more of the same, and then he developed as a passer over time. He only had the 1 year of elite productivity in the college ranks, which I don't put as much stock in that as the other one, but it's definitely something to think about. And with him, I see another Ryan Tannehill. I see Ryan Tannehill 2.0 in him. That's what I see when I look at Kenny Pickett. And a lot of people are not going to like that. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, he's good, not great. Is he a championship caliber quarterback? Can he carry a team to a Super Bowl? No. And I see a lot of Ryan Tannehill and Kenny Pickett. Good arm, can make plays, looks good on the stat sheet, athletic, can avoid the rush, but at the end of the day, can he make the plays that you need to win the game? Because sometimes your quarterback, you don't always want your quarterback to be called on to win the game, but there are times when your quarterback is called on to win the game, and Ryan Tannehill has proven he is not great at that. He can do it sometimes, but he's never really been able to do when it counts. And that's what I see when I look at Kenny Pickett. I could be wrong, but right now, from what I see Ryan Tannehill 2.0. That's it. Number 2, this is going to be a surprise and a bit of a head scratcher for people, but this is just what I feel. It's number 2, I got Desmond Ridder. Now, when I first started doing the research for this video, Desmond Ridder wasn't even in my top 5. But the more videos I watch on him, the more I read about him, the more I just like him. I mean, he's got good size. He's 6'4", 215. He could probably stand to put on another 10 pounds of bulk, get into that 225, maybe 230 range. He's got a good release. He's got better arm strength than people give him credit for. He's a great athlete. He's pretty accurate, and he'll get better. He knows how to make those throws. He can thread that needle, especially on the short and intermediate throws. He can really, really hit the spot. His deep ball is way underrated. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes with the football. He makes smart decisions. He's very, very athletic, very quick, very, very smooth when he runs. He runs a little high, a lot like Malik Willis. But he's just smart when he does. Something about this guy. He's just got a blue chip way about him. And at first I thought he was a little too cocky, but maybe I was a little quick to judge on that. He is cocky, but he's not the kind of over the top cocky that you just don't like. You know, he's good. He knows he's good, but he puts in the work. He's just a very, very good all around potential starting quarterback in the league. He reminds me a lot of maybe a cross between a Marcus Mariota or Deshaun Jackson even. And I know he's tall, he's lanky, just like him. He's athletic, he's got an arm. Like, there's a lot of Marcus Mariota and Deshaun Jackson blend in him. Now, he's got some weaknesses. He's not great at improvising sometimes, but, you know, he's young. That'll get better. You know, eventually, you know, you get better at that. Sometimes he can try to run out of the pocket a little too soon rather than try to throw the ball in there. If the pocket breaks down, he kind of gets a little happy feet sometimes. But like I said, a lot of guys have that, and that can be fixed with work, good coaching, obviously. A lot of people say he plays down to competition sometimes, and his level of competition playing at Cincinnati are negatives on his game. I kind of think that's a little bit harsh and a little overrated there. I think he's very good. He's a gamer. He's He's mentally tough. He's physically tough. I think, honestly, he can be an absolute dynamite starting quarterback in the NFL with the right coaching. As I said, he needs some fine-tuning. He needs a little seasoning, as does pretty much every rookie. I mean, every rookie quarterback, need to fine-tune that. And if he gets drafted by the right team in the right system with the right mentoring and coaching, the sky's the limit for this kid. He is that good. I think he is that good. And finally, at number 1, I got Carson Strong. And I know people are going to be... This is going to be a very polarizing choice here, because a lot of people don't even have Carson Strong in their top 5. I think he's number 1. I really do. From what I've seen of this guy, he's got a good arm. He's got his accuracy is very good. He will put his receivers in position to make plays. His pocket presence is way better than people give him credit for. He's started, 31 games over the last 3 seasons. He's got some experience. Yes, it was at Nevada, but like I said, much like the knock on Desmond Ridder at Cincinnati, I think that whole lesser opponents because of the school you played at, that's been thrown out the window for the last 20 years. There's been a lot of quarterbacks who played at lesser colleges who turned out to be excellent NFL quarterbacks. And I think he's going to be one of them. I don't think he's going to go first round. He's not going day 1, but he will be a second or third round pick. And whoever gets him is definitely going to get a blue chip prospect and someone who could be a top line starter for a decade. A lot of people say he's immobile and a statue in the pocket. I totally disagree. Yeah, granted, he's not going to beat any of these other quarterbacks on this list in a foot race. He's not that type of player, but he's got good athleticism and enough pocket presence to use his feet to extend plays. He can move in the pocket. He can play that little backyard football, a lot like Ben Roethlisberger. I see a little Ben Roethlisberger in him. He needs to put on a little bit more weight. He's 6'4", he's only 215. His frame could probably carry about 230, maybe even 235. You don't want to get too bulky because then you will be a stationary target. But I think his athleticism is underrated. His arm is underrated. I think he's very accurate. He can hit those throws. He needs some fine-tuning like everyone does. There's a lot of people who don't care much for his deep balls. I think he's a pretty good deep ball thrower, and he's going to get better in time, especially throwing to NFL quality wide receivers. That deep ball is going to be a threat. A lot of people compare Carson Strong to Carson Wentz. Me personally, I see a young Matt Ryan there, but a little bit more of a mobile Matt Ryan. Because, like, Matt Ryan, he's just kind of guy. He shows up, he does his job, and he does it well. It's not flashy, it's not pretty. It's just he does what he needs to do, and Matt Ryan's done that for over a decade. And I think Carson Strong is going to be just the same type of player. And if anyone who drafts him, if you're getting the next Matt Ryan, trust me, you're going to get a good one if you draft Strong. I really believe that. People are going to think I'm crazy and nuts, but I think that Carson Strong has the most upside in this draft. And any team that drafts him is going to be getting a stud for the next decade. I truly, truly believe that. This is not anything to try to troll people or anything. This is not some crazy thing I'm saying just for the views or the clicks or whatever. I truly believe Carson Strong has the most upside of this draft. He's going to be a stud, and hopefully the right team gets him that can bring him along the proper way and then turn him loose when the time is right. There it is, folks. That's my top 5 quarterbacks of the 2022 NFL Draft. Number 5, Matt Corral. Number 4, Malik Willis. Number 3, Kenny Pickett. Number 2, Desmond Ridder. And number 1, Carson Strong. Now, I know a lot of people are going to have a lot of opinions on this, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me. Pretty much everyone's going to disagree with me on something here. We're all going to disagree on everything, but a lot of people are going to really, really throw some venom my way for having Desmond Ridder at number 2, and especially Carson Strong at number 1. But the research I've done, the videos I've watched, what I see, and like I said, everyone sees something a little different, so nobody's obviously, everyone can interpret the same video in any different way. So everyone's got a different opinion, which is okay. That's what sports are about, We couldn't argue what the hell good are sports. That's the way I see it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time on the Redacted Report. Take care.